I'm doing a power steering pump for a 2007 Ford Focus. The problem was it was leaking and the power steering fluid was all burnt. So I ended up changing the power steering pump and the O-rings on the bottom of this reservoir. Those two O-rings right there, I got them from the dealer. It needs to be replaced. It's common when it leaks. So I started out by taking out the headlight, and then I ended up taking partial of the grill, just to take out the headlight so it could give you a better passageway to take it out. The headlight is only a 2 10mm bolts. The grill also 2 10mm bolts with 2 plastic bolts right here and right here. 2 10s are right here. After that, I ended up using a 13mm wrench to take off the tension on the belt. I don't know if you can see the wrench. The wrench is right here. The belt tensioner is the one all the way at the bottom underneath the alternator. Right underneath the alternator is the belt tensioner. You release the tension and you remove the belt from the power steering pulley. After that, you have the headlight off, the grill off, the belt tensioner off. You start removing the power steering reservoir. You take off 2 10mm bolts, which are in here and in here, and then it's held on by the O-rings over here. You just pretty much pull it out and then pop it back up. After that, you start taking off the sensor. This sensor right here, power steering sensor, with the 18mm. No, this one's a 14mm. 14mm wrench. You take it off. After that, once that's off, it's easier to get to this thing. You have to take off the pressure line, which is the 18mm wrench. You take that off, and then after that, you have 2 10mm bolts left for the power steering pump to come off. Once you take out the pressure hose or pressure line, you just simply push it down really hard and scoot it to the side. Then you're able to take out those 2 10mm bolts on for the last 2 10mm bolts for the power steering pump. Oh, I forgot, before taking these things off, you're gonna have to take off the power steering pulley off first, so you can have enough room to get to those to the hose line and the 2 last bolts. So you use a special tool for that. I ended up using this snap-on tool. Simply slide it in there like that, and then you just start screwing it in, and then you hold it right here with, I used a 1-inch wrench and 13mm socket over here, and I just started screwing it in and slowly starts pulling it off. And that's pretty much it. Everything else you do in reverse order when you put it back in. Right now I'm tightening the pressure line with the 18mm. Now for the pressure line to take it off, you're gonna have to push the wrench up towards the firewall of the engine. So you're pushing it clockwise, and to tighten it, you're gonna pull it counterclockwise with the 18mm wrench. And then you use a 14mm wrench to tighten this one. This one's the opposite way to tighten it, which is tighten it clockwise. Connect this bad boy back on. And then you put the pulley back on, and you use a special tool for that as well. I'll show you how to put it back on, to put the pulley back on, how the tool works. So this power steering pump inside right here, it has a thread. So for you to put on the pulley, you're gonna have to screw this bolt in, screw it all the way in. Hold on 1 second. Let me get back to you. I used a tool to put back in the pulley. I ended up needing 2 hands. Simply hold it with one hand right here, so the power steering will not move on you when you're tightening this bolt right here. It keeps it nice and steady. And then you start turning this bolt clockwise to tighten it. Once it's tightened, you could already put in the pulley using this right here with the wrench. Putting the pulley back on. This outside bolt to hold it, it's 14mm. For this nut right here to push back the pulley in, it's a 17mm. I think I'm using a 11 16th wrench, and I just put this 14mm right there against the radiator support, just to hold it there, so I won't use 2 hands. Swing it on all the way. Very simple. This tool to pull the pulleys out and to press them back in. You can get it at AutoZone. You can loan it. They loaned me a tool right here at an auto mechanic shop right here around the house. Really good friends of mine, so they let me use it. So I put the pulley back on. Kind of have to like estimate where you would want to stop. And then after that, you put the belt back on. You put pressure, release the tension on the belt tensioner. Put the belt back on. After that, you can put everything else back on. You know, as you notice, I never took off this bottom hose. So it was kind of difficult. This bottom hose on the power steering reservoir. So I just simply pulled it off and moved it to the side, and I was able to have enough room to work on the power steering pump. I also switched the O-rings from there. The last few things on, the reservoir and the 2 bolts, and then after that you just put the headlight back on and the grill, and you're done. This car doesn't use power steering fluid. It uses Mercon 5 transmission fluid. Yeah, pretty much it on this car. So continuing putting the reservoir back on and the 2 bolts. These 2 bolts for the reservoir that releases the reservoir are, yeah, man. Sorry. Yeah, when you put the bolts back on for the reservoir, they're part of the power steering pump. The 2 bolts on top, that holds the power steering pump as well. they're these bolts right here. I'm just putting the 2mm bolts up here. It's pretty much all set. Now time to put this back in place. These I just popped them out with the screwdriver. Oh, need to put that clamp back on. You can see it pretty well. This clamp right here. I took it off. You don't really need to take it off. I was trying to take out the hose, but I wasn't able to. So I just left it on there and put the reservoir to the side. Put the headlight back on. Don't forget to connect it. I'm done putting the light and the grill back on. Simple job, just knowing how to do everything in order. It's organizing yourself, you know. Lights first, grill, then you start taking off everything on there. Reservoir, the 2 bolts for the reservoir. Take out the belt tension. After the belt tension, then you take off the pulley. Once the pulley's off, you could work very easily under there with the headlight off. Yeah, you just have to have the right tools. The tool that I used is this. See if you guys can see it. OEM pulley puller installer 27031. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. If you guys have any questions, please let me know.